Tubes of fish roe.
Yeah,
They
no.
have like this little eggs.
Oh.
It's actually pretty good.
So it's like a caviar.
Yes. You survive.
Yeah, what is it, lutefisk?
That's Norwegian. So strömming is the disgusting fish dish that the Swedes.
Yeah. To me, Scandinavia is just Scandinavia, you know. If I were to move somewhere there, I'd probably move to Denmark as opposed to. And this is being recorded. Somebody could use this against me, I suppose. I suspect my ancestry is vaguely Scandinavian, but I have no idea from where. Okay. So are we ready? Am I ready? That's a different question.
No, are you?
Not really, but I want to talk about the SQL Server Agent today. So we need to start it. That's one of the first things we need to do. So I'm just going to right click on it and say start. And yes. So if you were using this a lot, like we did a little bit of scheduling and things, it would be good to set its start mode. I don't know if you can do this in properties. You might have to go in. So auto start SQL Server if it stops unexpectedly. And it says auto start here, but I think we'd have to go into services and set it to automatic. Right now it's on manual. So if I go, I'm just going to right click on the Windows tab and go to computer management. We'll just look at it. I'll show you. And if we go to services and applications and SQL Server configuration, and if we look at SQL Server services, and I'll expand this a little bit, you'll see that the agent, we need the agent for this one. It's running right now, but it's a manual start. And if for us, that's fine. But generally, if you're automating things, you don't want it to stop. So what you can do is you can change that. I'm going to properties. This is the SQL Service Agent. Yeah, you guys don't have to do this. I'm just sort of showing you how. I'm going to properties. And I want to give it, it's got a status of running, the service, start mode. And you could change that. Theoretically, you can change that to automatic. Why is it not giving it to me? Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It has to automatic.
How do I get to it if it's broken? Can I just write it? I don't think so. All right.
Yeah.
Is yours broken too?
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, you got that weird gray bar.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a drop-down list.
Oh, yeah, I figured that's what it was supposed to be.
Well, there's another place you can get to these. Usually, I'm going to go to all the programs, and there should be a configuration, and I think there's SQL data source, reporting services, profiler, management, installation, import, execute, deployment wizard, configuration. I think it's just going to be the configuration manager. Let's look at that. And if I go into SQL services here, it's the same thing, but I wonder if it'll give me the dialog box. This agent is running. If I look at the properties, service, see, it works there.
Automatic?
Yeah, you don't have to, but.
Start mode manual.
So it was manual, and I changed it to automatic.
Oh, I get that weird line.
Yeah, so what I did if originally I got that.
Yeah.
So the other place I went to all the programs. And if you have a Windows 10 or something more like that, you just have to scroll down,
Oh, and find it.
right, and find it. But there's a configuration manager. So here's the configuration manager. When I do that, it brings these up. And there it worked. When I went to the agent, let's expand this so I can see the agent. This is for the 2246. And then when I do the properties service, then the start mode, here it works. I don't know why it wasn't working in the, it's just weird that it wasn't working in the other. I usually just do this because it's faster than finding it. Okay, so I am going to close that. I just wanted to show you that. Under advanced, there's some different things. You could forward things to another server if you wanted to. Events, if an event has a severity at or above, and you could, there's all sorts of different levels of event. I don't know if it'll drop that down without me selecting. That's just for unhandled events. It has things about the CPU things. The alert system is database mail, which we tried to set up but doesn't necessarily work for us. So basically, if you set up an alert, which we'll do, we may not get the alerts, but we'll set it up. They would send it to your mailbox. And then we'll look at the job system. The connection is just the SQL Server connection. Use Windows to get that connection. A lot of this is sort of grayed out. I'm not sure why. So these are just the properties of it. If you click the little plus beside it, and this is all in chapter 27 of the book. There's jobs, alerts, operators, and then there's error logs down here, proxies, and things. So, I'm not sure which one we should do first. Whether a job, they all have basically links to each other. This is kind of again in the realm of automating things, right? I'm just curious what he does first. Looks at the properties. Starts with operators. So let's create an operator. So under operators, there's nothing there. So if I right click and do new operator, and you could start PowerShell. Almost all of these have start PowerShell, but I'm not going to do that. New operator. So we need to give the operator a name. I think we did the email thing, so I'm just going to say Steve. You can do whatever you want. My email name would be, what did I do for my email name? Do you guys remember? I don't know that that's, and then I'm going to do, so basically it would come and look for this, I think, under the, I'm going to put the whole email in there. But it's, I don't think you need to do that. It would look under the database mail that we've done before and try to match the name. So this name should probably match something in the database mail name. Now NetSend, do you guys know what that is? We're not going to do it because it's a pain to set up. Because Windows really doesn't like it. It allows you to send messages on the network.
Oh yeah. Did that before.
Yeah, it used to be pretty easy to set up.
Coworkers.
Yes, but it's a security hole
Yeah.
And it can be annoying. And basically, it's close to forbidden. It takes a lot of maneuvering now to set it up. Used to be just a pretty easy thing to set up. You can also do pager if you have a pager set up, which we don't. So you can also set up like days and weeks, what days you're available. Actually, pager on duty schedule, pager email name. I don't know if this is only for pagers. Interesting question. So you could set up what days you are and what times. Actually, let's just do Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so this operator is only available from Tuesdays and Thursdays. They did use a whole email up there. So we're going to not do notifications until we do alerts. I think that's all there is to this. If you want to know what that looks like on a script, you can script it. So here's the script for that. It uses a built-in stored procedure, and you just create a variable for each, you have a variable for each of these things. Does that make sense? Although I remember, not that I'm going to get this, but actually I used spconger@gmail.com. I have way too many email addresses. I have like 6.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll create an operator. We'll just do OK. And notice that there's a little person icon with a Steve beside it, or whatever name you use. Okay. So then we're going to create an alert. So I am going to go to alerts. When I click that, there's nothing there, so I'm going to do a new alert. Whenever I do this, I always remember Mad Magazine from my childhood where it says, I am not a alert.
I always think of the button, be alert, the world needs more alerts.
Yes. So anyway, I don't know why that comes. So we need a name for this alert, which would be helpful if we had some idea what we're configuring as an alert. What do we want to do? So deprecated features is what they did. That's weird. Why would they use deprecated features? I'm going to do what they did just to see if it works. So one of the things you can do, they just said deprecated features. And then the SQL Server alert, they just did a performance condition alert. Okay. So there's SQL Server alerts, there's SQL Server performance. The object is deprecated features. As I said, I'm just following the book. I usually don't. I usually make these up on the fly, and we might play with them a little bit. But I'm following it just to see if it works the way they say. Deprecated features. The counter is usage. So I presume that's in the drop-down? Nope.
That's the drop down.
What?
It's in the drop down of mine, but I also didn't type in deprecated features.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do. It's interesting that it would only do it. So, and then the instance is set row count, it said. Alert if counter it says rises above 0. Okay.
Set row count.
Yeah. As I said, I'm just following this. Okay. So in the response, we can notify operators, and there's a Steve, and we'll do it by email, although this won't happen probably for mine. And you can, if on options, you can add a message if you want. Again, it's not going to send it, but you can say.
On response.
So in response, what I did is I just said notify operators, and then it gives you an operator that we just made, right?
Okay.
And if you had more operators, it would give a list of them, and you could check the one you wanted.
Check the general one more time. General.
Sure. And as I said, we might play this with another, go through this again just on our own to play with things. But and then in the options, I was just going to say stop using deprecated features. I'm not even sure which deprecated features, but we'll, as I said, we'll kind of follow this. I think that creates an alert. So we have a deprecated features in alert. So then we're going to do a job. There's a daily activity monitor, but we're going to create a, there are some jobs here, but these are pre-built jobs. Actually, you know what they're coming from? We did the maintenance plan, right?
Yeah.
And we did that plan too. This is from the SSIS.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what the purge history one is. I think it's that. But we're going to add a new job. And the job is going to be, so I'm looking down here. Right, I'm not sure why the alert for deprecated features. Because in the job, they're doing a backup. They back up AdventureWorks. Should we do that?
Yeah.
So they just do AdventureWorks 2014 for us. Nightly backup. It says nightly full backup. So I'm, again, just sort of following what they do. They say SA. I'm going to just leave it as administrator. Database maintenance, which is in the drop-down list. And then backup AdventureWorks every night or something. It doesn't matter what you write there, but it just gives you information. Okay, so you guys got that?
Yep.
So I'm going to do steps, and we need a job list. So I'm going to click on new, and I'm just going to call it nightly backup. So we're going to type in the SQL, I guess. All right, so transcript run as, we're just going to leave that. Database master. And then we need to put in our SQL here.
We'll change the database to AdventureWorks.
No, because you actually back it up from master. You know, can't back it up from within itself. So I'm going to say back up database Adventure Works 2014 to file, right? Equals, and then we had C. Was it backups? The folder? Some of you made subfolders, which is probably good. I'm going to break the line a little so that it's and that shouldn't be a double quote.
Oh, 2015? Was it 2014?
It's 2014 in this. Oh, and so this should be
Yeah.
2014. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have to change the database to the other choice instead of master?
No, it should be master. Master is where you do the backup from. Is that all I need?
Backup 2015 dot.
One of the things you can do is parse, and it does say there's an error.
So sync to code.
To disk, right? Is it to disk?
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, it likes that. All right.
And how did you?
So to test it, I hit parse. Notice you can also paste. So you could write it over in your query window and then just paste it in here. Or there are different ways to get it in there. So I am going to do okay, I think, except if there's advanced. So select advanced. Let's go to advanced. All right. So so there is a schedules here, it says. Don't see it. In the select pane, select advanced. Review what's on this page. Oh, and then it says to do okay. That doesn't make sense though. Okay, so we do okay. Oh, here we got. We've got the other things. We're back to here. So there's nightly backup. Is it adding a second text? Set the defaults for now. Oh, it's for schedules. So if we click a new schedule, it gives us this. We've seen it before. This is kind of related to the management stuff we did before. And in fact, once you've created these jobs and stuff, you can drag them into a management.
How did you?
So I clicked on schedules. So I did okay after the. So if I look
Oh,
at,
you're okay.
yeah, so I did okay, and then it comes back to here, and then I clicked on schedules.
It closed out.
It closed out everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it closed out. So.
So go to the jobs again. And find the job that you did. Where are you working on a job that did not save anything?
I don't.
It doesn't say what the job is. No.
Wait. Here.
Yeah, so then just right click on the properties. It should bring up everything. So that looks good, and then just do schedules. Okay, and then here, Okay, so then when I hit new, it'll give us a schedule. Let's do this backup. When do we want to do it? It's 1:25. Do you think we can finish this in 10 minutes or so? Let's do it as 1:35. So it's Thursday. And it occurs at, I'm going to do 1:35 p.m. That's assuming that we get it done. I'm going to say AW Backup is the name of it. And then I think I'm just going to let it go. So hopefully I can finish this by 1:35.
It is 1:45 now.
But it goes by the computer clock.
So yeah,
And
1
on my
minute.
computer clock, it's 1:25. So I'm going to just do OK on this. Do you guys need to see anything else? All I did is I set it for 1:35 p.m.
Oh, mine, I just rolled over to 1:35.
Yeah, change it to something about 10 minutes down. Why is my clock so far behind, I wonder? All right, so under alerts, does it do anything with alerts here? Accept all the defaults and click OK. All right. So under notifications, doesn't do anything on alerts. It's interesting. I'm not sure what all they're doing here. I shouldn't follow it because it's not making total sense. All right, so I'm just going to do, we could make an alert here if we wanted. Can I do this by 1:35? So I'm just going to say backup alert.
Like to add one.
Yeah, I'm adding a new alert. I'm not sure. This is AdventureWorks 2014. General information, miscellaneous system information is fine. Raise alert. So when does this occur? I think it must occur on just this thing. Response, I'm going to have it notify operators. And then the options I wasn't going to include alert in email. I'm not going to get this email, so this is all extra. Adventure works backed up. You generally probably wouldn't want a message. So that was for alerts. I made up a backup alert. Notifications, email, Steve. And I'm going to do when job fails. Let's do it when it succeeds, because it's likely to succeed.
The message doesn't make sense.
What was that under?
What?
What was that under? This window?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
notification.
Steve, yeah, so I just did when job succeeds. Typically, though, what you would probably want for a notification is really when it fails. But we said, it backed up, so. Target logo server is fine. So we have a notification, we have an alert, we have schedules, we have steps, and you can have multiple steps, kind of like the management plan. There can be a lot of steps there. This does a lot of the same things as the management plans. General, I'm going to do OK. I have a few minutes now. What I'm going to do once it runs, if it runs, I will, there's a log for it. So even though we won't get the alerts, we can look to see if it.
I set mine for 1:40.
Oh. Again, it'll go by your computer time. Is your computer time in sync with the time up there?
It's It's a minute behind that one.
Mine's several minutes behind.
Pretty much exactly.
That's weird.
At least my VM's clock is.
Yeah.
My VM's clock is in sync, but my regular computer time is 10 minutes behind.
Oh,
Me too, yeah. But mine's actually 12.
that's weird. They should all be coordinated. They all should be from the server. And I said 135. I should have said 130. I just didn't think we'd get through it. After this, I'll let you guys make one just on your own, and then we might do the next thing. As I said, I don't think I want to do all three, but we might do the next thing. Database mail, we didn't actually get to work much. A couple of people did. We're not doing data definition triggers. We did dynamic move management objects. Log shipping I want to do later. Oops, we want to go all the way out of here. Waiting 4 minutes now. No, the resource governor was the other thing we were going to do. Might do that. Don't know how I'm going to do the evening class. So sleepy.
Oh, I'm going to my evening class.
Coffee, right?
Well, I've had plenty of coffee. Probably will have another.
We're installing MySQL.
I'm hoping to install MySQL and start actually building the database. So we'll talk about what the database is and then start talking about how to design it. And just see how far we get. We go as far as we can. Installing MySQL could go smoothly or it could be a major disaster. We'll have to see.
Are you gonna do that first thing? Or?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I'm gonna duck out for a little while, but.
Okay.
I tried to install my SQL on my Windows, on my old Windows 7. Just
Yeah.
it was the only time I ever had a blue screen on Windows 7.
Huh.
That's why I haven't had the same problem on Windows 10.
Yeah, I've installed it. There's an installer that does it pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, 1:33. I should really have changed the time on that. Yeah, I don't think I will get an email either. I'll show you how to run the thing in a minute. Still 2 minutes away. I suppose I could go in and change the time. Can I do it in the time? I'll give it to 2 minutes.
So in the assignment, when it says like take a screenshot of the job log,
Yeah,
is that just like the history?
yes.
Okay.
So the history will show you that it ran. Right. That's all you need to do. Again, part of what we're doing in all of these things is I'm just showing you a bunch of tools. One of the things I want to do towards the very end of the course here, about the time we're doing reports, is talk about how do they all fit together in some way. Because they're really just diverse little tools. Okay, so 1:34. It's amazing how long a minute can be when you're just trying to wait for it to get over with. Yours ran?
Oh, it's succeeded. The job was invoked.
So yes, it might say that the job succeeded. It might say that the okay, mine says 135. So I'm going to do the AdventureWorks nightly full. I'm going to view history. Oh, it hasn't run yet.
Oh,
Oh, there it goes.
I just flipped it all jobs. But it was,
So if it isn't a log,
All right.
it's good, right?
Yeah.
It's just like delete it.
Why is mine not? So let's try this again.
So on the jobs like order. So like the order
need a refresh?
I don't think so. It's just not showing it. I don't know if it ran. Did I set the time wrong? I think I can start the job manually. SQL Server Management Studio has stopped
Oh, it
working.
timed out.
Okay. Nothing like crashing everything. My job seems to be gone. Did I? That's weird. My job is gone. My alerts are deprecated in backup alert. There's a backup. Operators are still there. But why is the job itself gone? Didn't I name the job AdventureWorks Backup, right?
Yeah, AW backup.
Let me new job AW nightly backup. Okay, so this is database maintenance. Okay, steps, new. Run as. Did we leave run as empty before? Or was, okay. So back up, database, adventure works 2014 to disk equals C backups. Okay. C backups. Adventure works back. I'm curious. I was wondering if that was the problem. So I'm going to do, okay, schedules, new Thursday. What time is it now? Mine says 1:39. I'm going to do 1:41 p.m. Maybe this is the problem. This isn't allowing me to say okay. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Gotta hurry. All right, so I'm going to do OK. Alerts. So we got one, but I'll do email when job succeeds. And I'm going to fail here because of, and I'm just going to do OK and see if it runs now. I don't know if it'll create the alert because I didn't. I don't know why it crashed. Come on, 1 minute.
Should be SQL Server Agent.
Well, there should be an alert. I don't know if I did. I did that really fast. I might have left. All right, so I'm going to look and see what the view history, even if it fit. So there it is. This time it worked. And then I think, so it says that everything is fine. Did it do? The job succeeded. It seems to work. Is that the other one? No, they're the same. So anyway, this screen is all you need. If I click on that, it just goes back to there. Okay. So it didn't email the operator, it just has that as empty. Do you guys have more? Do you have errors or anything? I'm not sure I set all that up.
There's just nothing.
Yeah, it just didn't get those done for whatever reason. But anyway, that's sort of the SQL Server Agent. There's also, as I said, there's the job history. There's the SQL Server Agent where it shows and here it shows, I think, database mail is not enabled for agent notifications, right? So that's an error there. This one is where I crashed. It failed for disabled agent. Interesting. But you can see when you have the errors there. So the log, job history, and let's just go back. Let's get rid of that. That's sufficient. Maybe hit the little plus to show that. So if you do, right click and look at history. Right click on it and look at history.
Oh, I see.
And then the database mail log probably has another. The mail cannot be sent. Okay. Okay, are you guys, how are you doing with that?
Mine had an error. It's a syntax error.
Oh, in your backup?
Yeah.
Let's look at the assignment too. Let's see if I want to do.
So if we created an operator, we don't have to do it again.
You shouldn't have to. You should be able to add the operator, yeah. So let's go back to the right class. One of the things that worries me is how few assignments are left, which is why I was, and none of them are going to take forever. Create an operator, create an alert, create a job that backs up Metro Alt, run the job, and then basically a screenshot of the history of the log. I'll give you, if you haven't done it with the Metro Alt, I'll let you do that. And then I want to look at the next assignment and see if we want to do it today too. Do we want to walk through that together? I guess we can. I'll give it just a couple minutes if you need time for the other one, just to run it.
I'm waiting for my time.
Okay. I am just really sleepy. I need to get over that. Resource governor, unfortunately, it's a little complicated. But we'll try. I'll walk through it. We'll just do the assignment together, and then I'll give you some time either to work on your reports. We'll probably do the reports in the last week, which is only 2 weeks away. I'll do, as I said, I'm going to try to prepare a couple of reports for on the way too. It would have been nice to have one today, but I just haven't had time. SQL Server Agent is, I think, set for last time, right? We'll do the SMS. When did you say it to run?
Right now. Oh, well,
What?
it failed again.
Is it saying a problem?
Where is the error? Where is the error? Usually it's just it won't even show me the error. Okay, come over. Okay.
Drop the fix it.
It should be on this time. This time. That's
Let's look at your. Let's look at the job. Let's look at the stuff. And then, update this. I've got 2 is equal. Do a metro about that.
oh, Yeah, the not like I think in both cases it was just an error.
It probably parsed all right. Yeah.
So you created an alert. Do you have to make a new job here? In response, or just create a new job? So,
You can. So
I think we did for the new job.
we did it for the new job. Now they had that deprecated alert. I wonder if I use something that's deprecated, but what is deprecated? I'd have to know something that's alert, deprecated. So let's just go look for something. I'm just looking at, it's hard to find, oh, so these are no longer used. Which is probably for the best. I don't know if I can do that. Select. All right, so select grant type name. Grant type name, and then I want I'm trying to remember. This is a syntax I haven't used in a long time. That's because it's deprecated. Or grant. Or grant type. Now, it may not just run, it may just not run at all. I'm just curious if it'll throw a syntax error. This is how you used to do outer joins. So it did that, but did it do anything? So let's look at the alerts. deprecated features. There's no actual way to tell if it ran because I didn't get the email. It's their jobs. Yeah, I was just seeing if I could spur that as an alert. Didn't work. Are you guys ready for the next thing?
Sure.
Or do you need
I
a...
wanted to like do my history, but it's like very laggy still. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll give you a minute.
And it's still failed.
Okay. Same thing, syntax error?
Yeah, incorrect syntax there too.
Let's look at it.
Real quickly.
I would accept it. Backup? No, it's the backup.
Oh, he just sent me. Oh, I see. Just check this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let that run again and then any other questions? So I said this used to be how you did a outer join. So this would be where grab type would be the table that returns everything. And this would be the opposite. Actually, that one it almost is okay with, but incorrect syntax. Never mind it though. I was just trying to do that deprecated thing. Okay, so the last thing we'll do today, and then you guys can do other things, is I'm going to go down to, let's close this so I can get down there. I believe it's under, is it under here? Management, resource governor. It worked that time?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to look at the properties for resource governor. I think it's enabled. No, it actually isn't yet, so let's enable it. Anybody have any idea what the resource governor does, by the way?
Manage resource management?
It does, actually. So what it manages is how much of your CPU and memory is allocated to a process. So again, this is something that's really technical and that you'd have to really think about, know what you're doing, but we're just going to fake it a little bit. But basically, if you have a really active database, you can allocate how much memory and CPU time goes to each process. Right, so you can refine it and try and attempt to try to. Basically, you can say that some processes have priority over other processes. So if we enable it, and then we can go, basically, we need to create a resource pool. And there's two always. There's a default and internal, right? So these are always there. Default is, well, the default. Let's see what it says about them. The internal pool cannot be dropped or altered. It represents the pool that this critical SQL Server function workloads are placed in, and it has priority over all pools. So the internal is always there, and it always has the highest priority. The default is user-defined pool that can be dropped, or it can't be dropped, but it can be altered. In addition, you can create user-defined ones or mapped to it. So what we want to do is, I'm going to do one. in the, it actually will end up here, but we'll leave this as okay for the enable. And under resource pools, there's the system ones again, default and normal, but you can create a new resource pool. Same dialog box. I'm not sure why I close it. Whoa, where'd it go? I want to make that bigger so I can see. So we can give it a name. The one from the book is SBS pool. I'm not sure what SBS is for. They said the minimum CPU is 20 and the maximum is 50. So I just added a resource, but underneath the resource pool, I just right click on resource pool.
I mean, like how do you add the SDS?
So it should just give you that place to add it. So actually, maybe you did the rerun it. So one of the things you may not have done,
Is this
go into the top level one and open, run it, and enable it.
all in which is great.
All right.
I got distracted and this is how you get resource governor.
All right. So let's cancel all of this. So the resource governor is just down here under management.
Oh,
The first thing you have to do is right click on resource governor and look at the properties, and you need to enable it. Should be an enabling.
Yeah.
So now they had, so what I did, I'm just following the book though. I'm not sure why, because everything you need is up here. But I'll just do okay. I'm just doing it. So on resource pools, I did right click new resource pool. It's the same dialog box exactly, except that it does give you this place to enter a new one. And I'm going to do SBS. Actually, I need to click into there. SBS pool. Yeah, I'm tired too. It just isn't. Yeah. It says the minimum CPU is 20. Oh, CBS pool. And the maximum is 50. And then the memory, they did the same thing, 20 and 50. So if I maximize this, you can sort of see it better. And I think these are just sort of random values, but I think that you would want to okay, so anyway, they say to do okay. You guys got this okay? Then if you right click and refresh and open this, we have our SBS pool. And then again, they're doing this, all of those things are in the same dialog box, but they go to workload groups and right click on the workload group. And it gives you a new one, right? So a new workload. And yeah, so we know the internal, creating a workload group. So we did that. So they call it SBS. SMS. And then they call it group. I'm not sure what the naming convention is there. They leave medium. And the maximum they leave is 0. And then in CPU time, they do 50. And in the memory, the maximum memory they do is 25. Memory grant. Where is grant? Oh, that's down here.
Oh, that's doing.
It's already there.
That's doing.
CPU time was 50 though. And they didn't change anything else. So do okay. So requests are grouped or classified based on characteristics. And what they do is they do a user-defined function for this. And as I recall, these functions are in the assignment. I actually wrote them for you, but you can, I'm going to try to run it. So I'm going to do use master. Why is it not? Wow, okay, caps lock. Execute. And I'm going to do create function SBS classifier. Again, I'm just following the returns sysname with schema binding. And I'm just following this. I'm not sure I would ever think through this on my own. Begin. Declare at group sysname. And then if username, and this is suser, username underscore, so it's here. Equal, we don't have this user, but we'll have to create him, John J. Doe. So if it equals John Doe, we're going to set them to that group. Begin set at group equal SBS SSMS group. This needs to be the same as what I wrote in the other thing. Is that the correct? Yeah, if it's wrong, well, we might have to redo this. End. And then return at group. And then we do end. So that's, and that should be return, not return. If we do it go, it'll clear that. All right, so we're creating a classifier function, which is the begin. And basically what we're doing is we're associating the login John Doe with this group that we made. So if John Doe comes in, that their maximum use is 50% of the CPU, right? So they'll be part of that group that has those limits on that. And we'll try this in a minute. Okay, so interesting. Username is actually lets you determine who the current logged in user is. So we're going to have to create a user for this. I'm going to run this function. We'll see if it works. This would be much easier to do if I was less sleepy, because it's a little complicated. Do you need a minute with that? So we're declaring a variable called add group. That group is going to be this of the type system name. If the user that's doing this is named Joe, we're attaching them to that work group. And then, and I think this is pretty trivial and stupid example, but it's what they've got. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable enough to do too much on my own with this. So it's going to return whatever the information is for this group. So it's going to return basically the system name for this group. I'm sure you could do, if we went online, I bet we could find more sophisticated examples. But let's see if this works. Now, another thing I need to do is start a second query. And I'm going to again use master. Oops. Come on. Enter should go down. And then I'm going to alter resource governor. How do you spell it? Governor. And we're going to add this with classifier function. Why is that not giving me classifier? That looks okay. Why is it not?
Is it named SBS classifier?
Well, but we're going to give it the name.
Oh, okay.
So equals. But
It
I'm
was SBS classifier. Was good.
right. But that's what I'm going to do right now. Equals dbo dot SBS classifier. That's what we named it, right? It seems like that should be going back here just to see SBS classifier. Classifier function. I just want to make sure I'm spelling things right because I'm expecting some color coding that I'm not getting.
Yeah.
Classifier function. That looks good. Equals DBO classifier. Alter resource governor reconfigure. Okay. So it says it's successful, so I guess it's okay. There are a lot of times, we haven't done this much, but where you alter an existing resource and change the configuration. If you're doing it in SQL, this is how you do it. And a lot of these, the only way to do it is in SQL. So we're basically changing the configuration to add this function to it. As I recall, if you do this wrong, it's a real pain to correct, though. Okay. And then we need to test this. So I'm going to try, and as I said, the code is in the assignment if you need. I'm going to go back here, although I'm not sure if it matters where, and we could probably do a new one. And I'm going to type this in. Oh, so first we need to create a login. So let's do it for, they said for AdventureWorks. So we might as well do it for AdventureWorks. Create login JDO. with password. Equal password. Oh, and I always screw myself up because that should be a 0, and I type it as a 0, and it never. Okay, so do we need? That's actually fine. We could do, although this doesn't really make a lot of difference, default database equals AdventureWorks. Does everybody have AdventureWorks?
No.
No. Well, we could do it with a different one. It doesn't matter. Well, let's just do Community Assist. Actually, is it? No quotes around the database. So I'm going to create the login. And then I'm going to create a user. And I'm just going to leave it as JDoe. Actually, before we do that, we need to say use Community Assist. So I'm going to run that. Create user JDoe for login JDoe. I think that's all I have to do for that. Okay. And we could just do add. JDoe has no permissions right now. So one of the things they do in here is they just say alter role DB data reader and add member JDoe. So what that'll do is it'll just add them to the role, so they can read all the data. Again, that's not necessarily something you'd want to do for real.
Yeah.
So we created a login JDoe, and the reason we need JDoe is that's what we said in our function. Who's the member was going to, whenever JDoe logs in, they're going to be a member of this SSMS thing, the resource governor. So we created a login and we created a user, and we added them to the data reader role. Again, data reader is not a role I would use in real life because it lets them read every table, everything. They can't change things, but they can read it all. They can select it all. But it is a good thing for testing. Okay. So that, I think, was my iPad saying some announcement. Or yours, I'm not sure which. So we're going to do, we need to connect as JDoe. Do you guys remember how to do that? So I'm going to kind of collapse all these. I'm just going to right click and connect. And this is going to be SQL Server authentication, JDoe, and password, or whatever you did. You're right. So I connect, and then I'm just going to create a new query. Yeah. So I'm going to go to databases, Community Assist. I'm going to just do a new query. I'm going to, and notice it says Joe here. So I'm just going to select star from person. So I just want to execute something, have something happen. All right. And then I'm going to go back to where we were. So it's not Joe, it's the administrator again. And I am going to do this query, which is weird, but so I'm going to select S group ID, cast, and I'm just copying this from the book, G.name as in varchar 20, and it's aliased as resource group. Okay, and then I'm going to do s dot session underscore ID, comma, s dot login name. Then it has another cast. S dot host name, and I think again this is as in varchar 20. So what we're querying is the resource governor, basically, and then they do this as a host name. And another cast for the program name, s dot program name as in varchar 20.
What you need, comma, the whole posting.
I do indeed. And then program name, and this is the last of the fields. From sys.dm underscore exec sessions. All right. Exec underscore sessions. There it is. And that's like aliased as S. Inner join sys dm underscore resource governor workload groups G on G dot group ID equals S dot group ID, I presume. Where isn't this is a really crazy query. G dot name equals SBS SSMS group. And it says to order by, I'm not sure if we need that, order by G.name. And that's it. But it isn't really happy. S.program name. Oh, it's a program name underscore. And it's host name underscore. All right, let's see if that gives me. It doesn't like group ID. Is that group under? Yeah, it's underscore. I'm going to run that and see if it works, and then I'll leave it for a minute. So it shows the group ID, it shows the group, it shows the session ID, the login name, the host name, the program name. I think that's all. So basically, this is just a way you can monitor what the thing. The gist of this is that after all this work, we've made it so that whenever Joe logs in, he is a member of the SBS SMS group, which means that they can't use more CPU time than 50%. So maybe Joe is a real overuser, and they're limited now to 50% of the CPU.
So didn't get any results. It ran, I just didn't get any results in it.
So, did you run the stuff in the other window with
Yeah.
Joe? So, and that is Joe. So it should work. What is it? After cleaning. Did you do the, slipping the function? Right at the program. Yes, 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 there you go. It should work. Maybe run another clear under Joe and see what happens when if you get anything.
So can you explain this again?
I can't, I'll try.
So,
So we're gonna cast it. Yeah, so you need to log actually.
oh, I see.
Is it cast, the session ID? Session ID actually isn't cast anyway.
It's, oh, right,
So basically, this is just tracking Joe's existence in this group. This group of resource, there's a group, and you could have more people. I think you could have combined, like you probably could have done still not getting anything? Okay, so let's look at the login name. So what does it look like? Is there an error? Or is it just running like it? So what is it? Let's look at the class. What is the S? Oh, the S dot host name. Yes, that's correct. As invite card, copy, and close that. Oh, comma after this stuff. Oh, sure. I'm not sure why some people get two, some people get some, and some people get nothing.
Now that we invalid column, everything these are invalid column names.
The program name is program with an underscore.
Oh, I see. So there is that underscore.
Alright, so what is it this time? Oh, you can't do this from Joe's. Copy that and run it in the one of the app. You're still not getting anything. Let's look at this stuff with the programs. So you made the function, you created the logic. When you did, you associated. I think that might be a little bit because everything also. It's getting random. Yeah. I'm just gonna look at mine and see if I did anything different. How many got something from that? Okay. How many didn't, I guess might be the question. You're still got in there.
There's no.
You're
shows
you're
the
getting nothing,
fields,
and
but-
you're getting nothing.
Struggling to log in.
Did you get anything?
You're struggling to log in.
Yeah, I got you. You got this. You got two, which is fine.
Is that the trust?
I'm not entirely sure what either of you are. So it's doing the query, but it's like the.
We have data too, is that from earlier?
Actually, so it gives you the general gel instead of one. Yeah, it runs like in a gel though. Do select star position. And then go back and run it. Run the other query. This one. Select gel. So you both have the same issue with one. You're trying to so your function up above and just look together look at everything. Let's see if I can declare that group system. That all looks good. Let's see. Enable your login.
Was it wrong?
Let's look at your resource governance. Let's look at the properties. So you got SPS pool. And you got it default. So what is it?
So when you try doing this and the next one. This one, this login for really
Is it the same for the program resource company?
Yeah, so this would be just this query is basically it. I'm just going to look at the resource management, not for Joe. I just want to see if there's anything different. So notice up here it has DB. One of the things you can do is you could write the another function and you change the function. Your function looked good though. I didn't see anything wrong with either of your functions. When I do the SBS pool, then it goes the SBS, SMMS groups. So that all looks good. I don't see anything wrong with what you guys Done.
Why are you not getting something?
We just had just JDoS. It's fine.
Maybe log out as Joe, try logging in. If that fails, we could try to mess with it if you want, but I would be content just to take the resource down there.
It's pretty.
Oh, you mean just not, like?
Well, like
Oh, the properties.
Yeah, the properties of the resource.
Oh,
So go to a window. There you go. Okay, so let's go back.
Yeah, this is the same thing. So when you look at it, with the query at the bottom, you can see
It's under mentions. Looking for this. It doesn't accessible with any functions about it. Group ID, group name.
Are those exactly the same tables that I have? Yeah, exact same.
resource governor.
Oops, so that's correct.
Group ID, group ID, or group name
Equals SSS group.
Again, it's nothing. It'd be nice if I could actually see something. So you get a lot of,
Okay, so it's that where clauses.
yeah. So those are all under the default.
Yeah.
So if the FPS, I don't see any FPS groups,
No,
but I do see JDO login,
yeah.
but it seems to be under program name. Host name. Let's look at
This,
so it looks like.
just want to try something.
Okay. I'm seeing default, but I'm not seeing any.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Yeah,
3 days.
so I'm wondering if I like didn't, I had to have run this.
Yes, otherwise I would have complained. Create function. When you created it in Aspen,
It's like I go on the website.
Yeah.
it's faster.
Well, yeah, I do a lot of like web development, but I'm just doing that for.
I'm going to look at something. So under databases, system databases, master, programmability, functions, Yeah, so the classifier functions in master.
Oh, yeah, it's continuous, but
Although I can't
never say it with masters.
So if you go to master,
No, the application development.
look down. The programmability. And it's the function.
Yeah.
It's there.
Oh, it's a cohort. The cohort.
I went and checked and made sure that JDO was
It's like
here.
Google.
Right, and it shows.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Do they help you out, like finding things?
Let me look again at the resource function thing.
Yeah.
So the other thing is just to work on your reports if you want for the, or finish up other stuff. So, and you have SBS pool and then SBS. They all should be entered in. Just weird. If the query does work effectively there. Let's look at the properties. Although it's not, again, it's not the, I will accept it.
Properties on,
The resource structure, without under change.
close that connection.
But it's waiting, you start feeling all the pain.
Oh, in the fall?
Metro trees, oh boy.
You bust it up there.
Yeah, right, I live like a minute that direction, like walking.
What do you want me to screenshot?
Who doesn't like that? Once it goes to North.
It's weird though, it's just weird. I don't see any reason why yours is that.
I don't know when that, I guess that still got. There's no
So this is basically, it punches in the
I
report.
think
Max doesn't actually see it.
So we wrote this function up here.
Yeah.
And basically what it says is that when this belongs to this pool. So when this person logs in, they can have a minimum of 20%, but a maximum of 50%. And then you get a minimum of 20, but a maximum of 50 for memory. So again, this is kind of trivial. You probably wouldn't attach this to a single user, but you might do it to a different process.
So what is the result
Yeah.
actually reflect?
So what the results reflect, basically all we did is we set up this pool where we gave them kind of a limited scope of what their processor and memory time would be. And then what the query does is just confirms that that actually happened. It doesn't actually confirm what resources they did. It's just that they're actually in the pool. That's all it actually is revealing. So when you do the query, all it's saying is that this group is running and that Joe is in it and it has these session IDs. That's all it's doing. It's not really telling you how much CPU they actually use. I bet you could get there if you made this query a little bit worse, hairier. There's probably places where it actually does measure how much CPU time they're using and things. The purpose of this would be to limit certain processes or users so that they don't overwhelm. They don't overwhelm the resources that are available. That would be really hard to do on a standard initially. Yeah, that's the assignment, that's fine. You can just take a picture of that. Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Like to do what I want. So I got the years
Right.
and then I want the revenue.
are the amounts.
because the years represent by color.
Right.
But, messing around. But
So you should be able to do,
I don't think I have it in the right spot.
so you got the year. Well, I think it is calculating the fares per year.
Because it looks so even when I run the chart.
Well, I think that's because that's.
Is it because it's so close? Because like it just looks so.
Yeah,
even.
I think that's.
Maybe
just-
that's the wrong type of chart.
I think it's just because, so we could show. Let's see what we get when we do that.
No, I think that's rounding it or something.
Well, it's not, yeah.
Maybe it's just not the right type of chart to show the difference.
Yeah,
I
and
can do
I
bar
don't
chart.
think that there's a lot of,
Yeah, I know, there's not a lot of.
so if it's not data, there's something where we could show the values.
Yeah. I don't know how to do Excel.
Yeah, I know that there's a way to get the values in here. So I don't see,
I was thinking, well, maybe you have to put the,
when you do this, are the dollar signs in the base?
yeah.
That's the problem. You can't calculate it. You'd have to remove the format from the,
Okay.
and go back to the view and remove the dollar signs because it treats it as a string then.
Okay.
That's why they're all pretty
So,
much the same.
so I could just edit the view.
Yeah. But even so, I think there was some, you could edit the view, but I think you might have to, I wonder if we look at, let's go back here. I wonder if we look at the view.
I remember you mentioned something that I think I've already done. To
I was
take out the dollar
thinking-
formatting, but
Yeah, I was wondering if the data, if we get access to the data set for this. But I don't think it will let us do. One of the things you can probably do is give it that view. Just right click on the view and script it.
so it was,
It's probably cost per year or something. What's that cost annual?
not,
Well,
oh,
it should say it.
I think it's annual.
That makes sense. So that makes sense. So it looks like that. That looks good. Get rid of just, remove,
That's the one I see.
no, that one says annual, yeah, I don't see it.
Because I have no ones. Yeah, that's city revenue, which is not the one.
Right, I think the other one is correct.
It's not.
I think it's the annual.
Oh, this.
This,
I wonder if it's under.
the one where we can go back to, that's the name. Annual review.
Oh, that's what I call the report.
Well, no, so let's start and leave everything. Well, here it is then here. And what I was going to suggest was just
remove the format, remove the format stuff. And then instead of making it a view right now, you just copy through the select. You just copy it. And then go back to your other one and just paste it in. And then just do okay. Yeah, it'll do that. Let's see what happens if we do it.
Okay.
So I took those out, which you can add them back in now. Let's see what this takes. To do this. Count for the, let's do.
Oh,
And I think now, let's see if we can get show data labels. Let's see if that does something different. Now that might be too much.
I could add it here.
Maybe.
But
Or you could make the chart bigger.
yeah, I guess.
And you can add like, you can format those
Formatting.
differently.
Okay, thanks. I wonder what, we're having
And
to
post
review.
it.
I wonder if that's something.
Ben goes to you.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure what happened to it either. That's,
Unless could I be, maybe I'm not in master, because
Did you save it in master? But it wouldn't work in master.
I don't know. Thank you.
Okay. So I was too warm
One of
now
those
and chilly
things.
again. Yeah. Yeah, today's I don't feel sick, tired, but I feel sleepy. I don't know what. And chilly also now suddenly. All right, I'm going to do something here which is foolish, but I just need to test it. So actually, should I save this script?
Yeah, or post a video either way.
There is a video,
Okay.
but I could also, and I think the script is somewhat in the assignment.
Yeah, the assignment basically looked like that, but with Metro instead of PBSs.
Right, which is fine,
It was
yeah,
in like the same group names and John Doe.
right.